I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Greenfield Conservation Commission at 6:31 p.m. August 13th, 2024. Commission members present include Erica, Emily, and Kristen. Travis cannot join us today. This meeting is being held by, I suppose I have to say it just for the sake of the recording, even if nobody's here yet, huh? Or shall I just hold off?
Yeah, I would just say it's part of the routine.
Okay. This meeting is being held virtually. Should any technical interruption to the meeting occur and the meeting suddenly ends, it will not be resumed and all items will be automatically continued to the next scheduled meeting date. This meeting is being recorded. If any of you commissioners are recording the meeting, you are required to let us know at this time. Let's go ahead and get the minutes approved. Motion to somebody else.
I'll motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 23rd, 2024.
Second.
Okay.
There were a couple of typos, but it looked like they might have been highlighted already, fixed already.
Okay.
That was all I saw.
Hey, one more second. I'm just looking right now.
Okay.
Erica, did you put this in track changes or comments on the draft?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. They showed up highlighted on mine, so I didn't know if they were already.
Oh,
There was one place where there was one place where it said, I think, if instead of is, and
Yeah, I took one last look like a little bit ago and fixed. I know
Yeah.
that one.
Okay.
Still need a minute, Kristen?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So a vote to approve the minutes. Kristen?
Aye.
Emily?
Aye.
Erica?
Aye.
I am also an aye. Minutes are approved. So we've got a couple things on the public hearing, but I don't see any of the folks here, obviously. Mitch?
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting most people. The first hearing, 290 Shelburne, they are they requested a continuance for the next meeting. They're kind of just responding to DEP comments right now.
Okay.
So we just got a motion to continue that.
Motion to accept their request for continuance.
Second.
Since this is technically a public hearing, do we have to have conversation? Yeah. Open it up for a conversation. Do we have any comments from the commission?
I would just make sure we say the date, which is August 27th.
Gotcha.
As a reminder, and maybe I can bring this up with other business, but I'm out that week on paid time off.
Okay.
So I will not be able to attend that hearing.
Did someone join us?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll talk about it later.
All right, so barring no further discussion, vote to approve moving the discussion around 290 Shelburne Road to August 27th, 2024. Emily?
Aye.
Erica?
Aye.
Kristen?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Next order of business in the public meeting, extension request For an order of conditions, building renovations and site improvements at 95 River Street, DEP number 168-0346. Mitch, you've got a couple, actually, I really appreciate the effort that you put into this one. There's quite a bit of background on how to potentially handle this. So there's a number of reasons that this extension might be denied by the commission, and a requirement of a new NOI. Mitch, shall I, oh, you got it, great.
Yeah, so I just went by, these are each of the reasons why an extension might be denied. One is if no work has started unless there's unavoidable delays. They said no work has started due to kind of funding issues. They're going through the USDA mortgage application process and got turned down recently. So they're just looking for alternatives for that, which needs more time. Be denied if new information indicates the interest of the act are not being protected by the OOC. Like site conditions have changed or the wetland resource boundary is incorrect. We can look through the photos, but the wetland boundary basically follows the road. So I don't think, doesn't seem to have changed. Incomplete work has led to damage to the interest of the act. Nothing has happened on site. There's a violation. I just wrote down kind of things that I saw, some minor, just, they did clean up some junk. There was a pile of stones, it seems like, and there's a tire pile that's growing. Seems like this has been there for a while.
That's how you know it's a wetland. It's full of tires.
And then the regulations have been amended and the existing OOC no longer complies with the regulations. There haven't been any amendments since this was approved.
So basically their reason for delay is because they haven't been able to secure funding.
Correct, yeah. But yeah, nothing's happened on site.
Did we go back and look at the special conditions? Is there any reason why we would wanna, I don't know, amend the conditions or
I don't know that we
re-review the
could add in.
project?
There's some things that they still need to do, but they haven't, started yet. So
And what's the process, Mitch? If we, what are the options, I guess?
yeah, either deny it or approve it. There's a form we would issue.
Is this
And
the
they're asking-
first request for an extension?
Is this what?
The first request for an extension?
Yes.
But the orders are already expired. Can we legally do that if the orders are already expired?
No, so it expires in October. It's not expired.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And they're looking for a 3-year?
They're looking for 3. We can do less than that, but yeah, that's what they're looking for.
Mitch, the list of items you shared earlier, those were reasons for approving extensions or not approving extensions?
Those are reasons that it might be denied.
Okay.
Yeah, site seems like it did. That's the pile of stones. And then this is a swale. But the wetland basically follows this road.
Well, I'm not seeing any compelling reason to deny them or to make them have a short extension if we do approve one. I don't see any gain particularly in terms of the resources that are there. And I don't see that they're just running into the kinds of issues that organizations like this run into. So unless I'm missing something particular, but
I'm agreeing with you, Emily. I feel like I'm leaning towards agreeing with the request for, I guess, an extension for 3 years. I'm just looking over the
Yeah, I didn't
orders.
see any reason not to.
Okay.
we might want to let them know that things like the tires should be put elsewhere if it's actually in the wetlands area. It might be that's not them, it might just be.
Yeah, I don't think it is, but yeah, so it's not,
Positive.
sorry, it's not in the wetland, but it's in the buffer zone.
Okay. All right, good. If it's
Yeah.
not affecting the resource, then. And I'm glad to know that they need a tree planting plan. I can mention that to the Greenfield Tree Committee. Maybe there can be some kind of collaboration there.
Sounds like everybody's pretty much in agreement. Anybody have anything else they want to discuss around this? No? So,
Okay. I'll motion to approve, I guess, continuation of the order of conditions. Did I say that right? For DEP wetland file 168-0346.
Second.
motion from Kristen, second from Erica. So vote. Emily,
Aye.
Erica.
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Approval to extend for the extension request for 95 River Street. And that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's the end of the public hearing business.
Gosh, really?
That was just the two. Am I missing something, Mitch?
No,
that's
this
it.
is fantastic. I mean, like the shortest meeting in the history of my tenure here.
Travis misses the short one. It's fun.
Let's see. So I've got to close the. By the way, I'm looking at my cheat sheet here.
Do we have to make a motion to close the public hearing?
Vote to
No,
close.
so
Sorry, go ahead.
the first hearing was continued and then this one wasn't a hearing. So we can just move on.
Okay. Alrighty. So next up, Mitch, you got some signs up. Is that, yep. Oh no, the
I did.
Oakville. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, I'll put up some pictures. I put up 2 signs, just kind of warning people about the erosion, the steep trail.
Oh, behind Murphy's Field.
Yep.
Okay.
I haven't yet made it over there. Gotta go check it out.
Yeah, seems pretty steep.
Maybe
There's
I've lost my chance. Will I fall down if I do?
Just, watch your steps. People are kind of making a new trail going around the
Yeah.
street.
Mhm.
But yeah, put up a sign on each side coming up, and then this is kind of coming from the baseball field.
Good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we need to vote on reimbursing you, is that correct?
Correct. From the conservation fund, it was $29.72.
I will motion to approve the funding for signage for public safety for signage posted on City of Greenfield conservation land for $29.62.
Second.
72, not to
70.
Did I get the price wrong?
Not
What was
that
it?
dime. You gotta
Want
pay
my
that
10
dime
cents?
yourself, Mitch. I'm sorry.
I know.
It's a processing fee. Did I get a second?
Yeah, it's like,
Okay. So vote to approve. Erica,
aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Emily,
Aye.
also an aye. Thanks for doing that, Mitch.
Yeah, thank you. Were those
Yeah,
custom
thank you.
made? Those are great.
No, I just found those.
Oh.
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
perfect. Just on
Yeah, I
Amazon.
thought they looked very like clear, just very, wasn't trying too wordy. It was just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, just the right amount of info, I think.
Okay, that looks like that leaves us with one final official order of business, which is the Oak Hill Road enforcement order, which was issued requiring a restoration plan by this meeting. Have
Right, so he
you-
came in yesterday
Mhm.
and I guess started a plan. I don't think I can get him to a meeting, even though I said this would be short. He basically just signed this paper that he wrote up there saying that he would plant the 3 dozen trees, and I had him add some info about monitoring and invasives, but it's not much of a restoration plan.
Jeez Louise. Oh God, at least it's not back of an envelope. So
and I couldn't quite tell in his, when he listed the trees, or no, wait, no, when he listed, what he was gonna be looking for, and he added like anything else. What was that? I can't remember where he wrote that, but
invasive
Mhm.
species.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not
But
to be
sometimes he
but-
wrote like anything else, and I didn't know if he was being
Saplings
serious.
to be replaced if needed.
Have we received any comments from DEP? Do they want to pursue any enforcement action on the state, like an administrative order?
No, so we would go to them if we felt like he wasn't responding to what we were giving him. If we
Gotcha.
felt like we couldn't reach restoration ourselves.
Gotcha.
Basically, so if he, missed the November deadline, I think at that point we would give it to DEP.
Gotcha. Okay.
That sounds about right. I mean, this is minimal effort, but at least it kind of hits on all the things we needed.
I started putting it
Oh, this,
together. I don't
yeah,
know if
this
we want to just kind of iron out the specifics, instead of just if needed.
Mhm.
Great.
Um,
Can we send this? You generated this, Mitch? The species
Yeah, I
list and
started
the other
this.
establishment? Can we send this to him, just as a clarification of what our understanding of what his letter is?
I think so.
Which he can respond to if
Yeah.
there's any
Right.
misunderstandings, and then
Sorry, he's
also we're
not
gonna,
here, so I think we just
yeah.
Right.
we'll do what we want and then we'll send it to him.
Can we include the scientific names for the species?
That'd be
We
And
should.
do we want to maybe recommend, I mean, we can't really recommend nurseries, but if we want to have native species native to the county and not cultivars,
Mhm. Yeah.
and I know we can't really like promote specific vendors, but
Is
you
there a
know,
general list we have for ones in the region
Yeah.
that provide native species?
Yeah, that's a
Local
good
native
point.
species? There's a list that DCR Service Force should put together, but I think it's broader than that. It's regional and it's not looking at this locality. So I don't.
that
think
might
we can
still
cover
be
it.
okay though, as long as we specify that we want species native to the county. Give them that publication and then say, we can't promote a specific vendor, but
Here's some
here's
ideas.
a list of regional vendors. As long as they have whatever's native to the county or something, I don't know.
I'll
But
get a
I
copy of
think,
that list so we can share with him at least as a.
yeah, And I think having scientific names would be really helpful, because if we just give him common names, we don't know what kind of cultivars he's gonna be.
Right.
Yeah, for willow, we would want a willow tree rather than a shrub or a smaller tree, correct? Or does it matter?
What was taken
What-
down? Was there
Was there
willow
willow there?
there? I feel
There was-
like
I
there,
thought he said it was mostly pine, didn't he?
yeah,
was
that's
white
what I thought
pine.
too. I thought it was
Yeah.
pine and oak.
Who
It was
did,
pine,
who
I
came up,
Okay.
who came up with the, did he come up with the list, or
Yeah.
did you make
Yeah,
suggestions to
no,
him?
these were his ideas.
Yeah, where'd the Coriolis come from? I mean, that's great. It's great for wildlife habitat and stuff, but was
Yeah.
that there? I don't even know.
I mean, there's bound to be some black birch in there, but I don't know. The other stuff doesn't really look like that woods. Which is one of the things that we did request, is that it be replacing the species that were missing.
Right.
Yeah, white pine is, easy too. So, yeah. I question this list. That's my only comment.
I think we could add the pine and the oak to the list and make the point that these also need to be on your list, and they need to go into the ground, and you need to maintain them and make sure that they have survivorship.
Yeah, we did talk about that last time, right, Liz? Like,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm,
I think that's what he was getting at with his the final pieces where saplings will be replaced if needed.
Oh,
That was my read of that.
okay, I did
Thank you.
read that and kind of went.
Me too, Erica. I was like,
I mean, I was like, they're all
Cash.
they should, you need to probably place them all. I mean,
But I think that's a good suggestion to include oak and pine at the minimum as other suggested species as for replacement of what was.
was it red oak? I mean, it's hard to see. I didn't go to the site. I don't know. Is that what
thought it
you
was-
said,
I thought it was
Elizabeth?
just pine.
There was,
I think there was oak across the street. That's I sort of
Oh.
took away.
yeah, the whole general area is heavy on the pine and oak.
What kind of oak? Was it red oak?
Give me a few characteristics to tell you yes or no.
You can usually see like a horizontal, or not horizontal, vertical red stripes on red oak bark,
Their leaves are often
and their leaves are really
larger.
pointy,
Yeah.
but not as
Mm.
pointy as pin oak.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it is. They tend to have deep fissures in the bark, and I've not
It's probably
noticed.
black then, if it's really craggy looking and crackled and stuff, and no
Yeah.
specific patterns, and probably in the black family.
I feel like
I've
black
heard
oak looks
referred to
kind
as
of like
rock oak.
checkerboards too.
Hmm.
I don't remember. I mean, we could do another site walk.
We could also say just oaks that are native to the
Yeah.
county and keep it simple.
Yeah,
Um,
native oaks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, red oaks are a very typical Connecticut river floodplain-ish species. Same with black. So same with pin. Pin oaks are kind of more urban, but you're right. That'll all work. But willow, where'd the willow come from?
You trying to dry up the wetlands?
I mean, willows are alive. I mean, you can stick some live stakes in the ground and they're
Right.
really cheap and easy, but and American hazelnut's awesome for wildlife habitat, but
So
Was
the
it there?
willow, let me ask you, you I think would know this better than I, but there's decorative, like corkscrew willow or something of that
gosh.
nature. Is this
There's-
what we're talking about? We got to make sure, I think that that's not.
yeah, there's so many species of willow, Elizabeth. That's such a good point. It is an enormous genus. I sometimes usually just cave when I do data forums and just say like species. I don't even know. There's so many species. So that is a really good point. It's a huge genus. I think we would want to be really specific,
So I guess
is
one
it
of the
even
things
here? Why is it even there though? Was there willow there existing? I mean, it just seems kind of random to me.
I've not seen willow in this general area. one of the things I wonder, and I should be cautious about speculating about someone else's motivations, but given that his ultimate goal is to turn this into a 50+ subdevelopment, I want some of these species are being chosen to be
Evapotranspirational.
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I think with the willow, if we specify within, I don't know how you would do it, but if you specify within the county's native range or willows within the county's native to the county, then I think that we can. I think we could be okay with that. I could be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch, we've referenced that Dow Kalina publication, I forget the date, 2011, that references species that are native to the counties across Massachusetts. So that will list the willow species native to Franklin County. And then maybe do we want to maybe also specify, you know, like not a rare species of willow, but sometimes you can get sandbar willow, which is technically listed, but you don't want to plant that in a restoration area. But I feel like I just like sorry, one more thing, Erica. I
Yeah, no,
feel
listen.
like he cut down trees, and I would like to see trees replaced.
Mhm.
I don't know if willows, because willow's a pretty broad genus. I don't know if he's talking about willow shrubs or willow trees.
Mhm.
I'm done. Sorry.
That was my
Sorry.
question too. It might be, I think it would be useful to say that we're looking for tree replacement rather than shrub replacement. Even though it being an open field, I mean, literally that's what you're going to have at first is shrubby conditions. So
Mhm.
having white birch there makes sense in terms of it being an open field. It's sort of like an early successional. You know, some of these are what would naturally happen. But I think it would be good to have some of the species that were taken down that were mature so that they can be there in the canopy.
Erica?
Well, I'm just gonna say, I mean, I'm not a very good tree expert, but is it because it is kind of just a big open field there? Is it gonna be damp enough for willow? Doesn't willow usually need to be a little bit wetter, or maybe I'm not all species, maybe.
A good question. It thrives in wet areas. I don't know whether it requires them. What's your experience, Krista?
I mean, plants that are, you know, fac wet or obligate are adapted to low oxygen conditions. So they thrive in wetland conditions. But that doesn't necessarily mean they can't also survive in drier conditions.
I was
So
just thinking about his survivability. I mean, is that one a
yeah,
good one? Is that one gonna just be destined to die anyway, or you know,
I feel
maybe?
like personally, my personal opinion is that he should replace what was lost on a 1-to-1 at a minimum. At a minimum, a 1-to-1. I prefer 1.5-to-1, but at a minimum a 1-to-1. So if the existing conditions prior to alteration was, you know, red oak and white pine, that's my preference to be replaced. I don't know why we're putting in willow and hazelnut, although I love Corylus.
I had a comment
Just
that it was mostly pine, that it was almost all pine, what was removed. Did I take that correctly or did I misunderstand?
right. And
I
the
think
other
that's
thing
what he
is like,
said.
Mitch, I think you visited the site. Did you get a sense of the proportion of pine to oak to, and because we do have black and white birch in the area. My observation just from walking by was just that there were a lot of pine stumps, but that doesn't mean that there weren't others, because there was also a huge pile of things that had already been ripped out of the ground. Who knows what that was?
Right. Yeah, no, from what I saw, what I was told, it was mostly pine.
I'm in favor of there being greater genetic diversity or different species, just because we are having so many health issues, and white pine's one of the trees affected right now.
Mhm.
But I think that having a good component of what was taken out would be important. So, and then I would want to just make sure that the species that are put in there are ones that are naturally occurring, that are
Mhm.
trees rather than just shrubs,
Mhm.
and that if they can get some cultivars that are local, that would be ideal. So I guess I'm willing to compromise if there's some interest in some other trees that might have some wildlife habitat
Mhm.
value, like the hazelnut wood, the willow. Maybe the willow is more aesthetic. So, but yeah, there's not much flood risk here. I mean, it is good in that type of a environment, but it is pretty far away from the channel of the river.
Hey, Mitch, can you remind us, are we in bordering land subject to flood?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, just riverfront.
You don't really see pine and oak and willow together much. You see pine and oak and birch together. White birch is off the Pioneer. Hazelnut, yeah, I mean, might be in there too, and it's an interesting tree. But
Maybe we could, it seems like the biggest sticking point here is the willow. Maybe we could request striking the willow from the list. Suggest 50% replant of the pine and then a reasonable mix of the birch and oak and hazelnut. Not crazy about the hazelnut, but that's my personal. Great.
I'm kind of with you. As much as I love that for wildlife habitat, I don't know where it came from. And it's a shrub.
Right.
yeah,
So I don't think that should be replaced. I don't think that should count for a tree. I don't think we should
Yeah.
replace a cut, mature, 20-inch diameter breast height tree with a shrub.
with a shrub. I agree.
Yeah.
If he wants to go above and beyond and plant additional
Yes.
shrubs,
Yeah.
Right, if he wants
totally.
some
Bonus.
understory, that's fine, yeah.
that's
Yep.
fantastic. Have some structure. That's great.
Yeah, some structure.
Especially with wildlife
Absolutely
habitat.
agree with that. But yeah, I feel like he should do at a minimum, in my opinion, a 1-to-1 on what was cut.
Yeah.
But you know, and reference the native county checklist.
Maybe we can say that in the list provided by the landowner, there were some trees that seemed to be shrubs or with wildlife intent. Those are encouraged, but would not count as replacement. So long as they're native and not introducing,
Yep, I think that works.
Can you guys remind me what we said about the invasive species management? Because invasive species thrive in recently disturbed areas. And we did see a lot of bittersweet, Asiatic bittersweet. Sorry,
I think we
can't-
just asked him to include invasive species management in his restoration plan. I thought maybe we mentioned mowing before the planting. Idea
Yeah.
was just cutting any climbing bittersweet, just so what he's planting doesn't die.
Right. Yeah, the mowing, right, really soon because the seeds are gonna start to ripen.
Was that included in his plan, or did he just give us a list of trees?
No, it just says
monitoring invasive species
invasive species
on new trees.
On
And
will be removed.
if
Okay,
necessary.
so maybe we should be really clear what we mean by invasive species, not
Mhm.
evasive species. And like what we're looking for a management plan. Because that could be mechanical or that could be chemical treatment. And I think that maybe we should be
Really careful. Just coming from the perspective of somebody who deals with agricultural pesticides and homeowners and so on, I would definitely encourage moving away from herbicidal applications, especially given the proximity to the resource. Yeah, I have concerns around that. So I think you're right. I think we should very clearly spell out that the bittersweet needs to be mowed, cut, otherwise denuded of its forming berries soon by the end of August. And then managed mechanically moving forward. And I think mechanically it can be defined to make sure that it's very clear in terms of, either cutting or mowing.
So are we gonna require that he provide the commission or the agent with a very detailed invasive species management plan, or IPMS? Or I mean, it's not really like our job to develop that for him. But I'm not feeling confidence that he's going to be able to do that without hiring a consultant to help him with that. And I'm not feeling confidence that he's going to be able to implement that, even if we were to develop it for him. So what do you guys think about invasive species, I guess?
I think it would be helpful to know what our next enforcement steps are available to us. He's technically provided a loose plan, which was our requirement, and given us a date by which he will implement that plan. So he's technically met the letter of our request.
There were no other like benchmark dates before that he had to, you got to start by? I mean, we just told him when it had to be done by,
Yeah, can you remind us, Mitch, what we talked about a couple of weeks or 3 weeks ago? Because I thought we spelled out like an invasive species management plan, ISMP, whatever it's called, and then like dates and all that. Can you remind us what we talked about?
I think all we said was we gave him the final date in November and then monitoring for, the next few years.
But
So,
he hasn't provided us with the.
yeah, so it says a plan shall be submitted by August 13th for invasive species management in the disturbed area, survivorship monitoring and replacement. It shall include the location of each species, and a summary with photographs shall be submitted upon completion. So this was part of the enforcement that was issued, and not actually accomplished.
It sounds like he didn't deliver everything that we requested.
Sounds like he didn't deliver anything of what was requested.
Mitch, you said when he came in, you told him to put in the invasive species part, right? I mean, that was like not even on his radar, or
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, so he's not even really thinking about that.
We could mandate that he hires a consultant. I mean, he clearly isn't able to tackle this himself. And, as a consultant, I get that. That's why people hire me. Nobody wants to pay for a wildlife biologist unless they have to. So that makes sense. But like, that's what consultants do. I mean, there are affordable consultants out there. This may be above
This is a
what
little bit bigger area than the guy who put in the 3 hosta plants, and we said, no, you gotta rip them out and put something else in. That was back when we were a little too vague. We're about just planting something,
Yeah, Kristen,
but this, I was just gonna say this, but this is a pretty big space that, yeah, he might need some help with. I mean,
Kristen, I'm inclined to agree, given the lack of actual compliance with the enforcement order.
it is. I have seen this, I have seen this with other enforcement orders in other towns. You're not required to hire a consultant, but it's encouraged because, you know, it's complicated. The regulatory framework is complicated. Our city ordinance is complicated. The State Wetlands Protection Act is complicated. There are small consulting firms. Ward Smith, Wendell is pretty small. He's probably pretty affordable. He's been an applicant representative in front of the Greenfield Concom many times.
Yeah.
I can't think of any others. I mean, again, we can't promote specific
Right.
companies, but we probably have a list that we can recommend. Most commissions do have like kind of a list that they can give without being too promoty for a certain company over another. But I know Ward is a small one pop
Mhm.
shop kind of place. So he'd probably be pretty affordable. Hoffman and Associates is also pretty small, and she's also really affordable. You know, in my personal opinion, I feel like that plan is not meeting all of the requirements that we asked for. I'll just say that.
In terms of timeline, there's some things that we've sketched out in terms of we want to make sure that it's mowed or there's some action taken before the seed set and fall. He gave us the deadline of when it'll be completed by. So it seems like we want to mention those things. And it does seem like he does need some assistance to maybe assess the needs and make recommendations about the actions to be taken from a consultant. And maybe would need assistance in implementing them. So
Interesting.
Yeah. I think especially with invasive species, I mean, it's one thing
Yeah.
to pick, a bunch of trees to plant, but it's then, invasive species management is a lot more complicated. And you gotta know what you're doing, you gotta know what you're looking for, you gotta know what you're.
So do we want to make it a requirement that he get a plan or assessment and operating plan for this, end of growing season and beginning of fall? Or do we want to require that he gets like you were talking about, Kristen, a full, I can't remember the acronym either, but full plan.
Invasive plant. I know, I keep getting tripped up over it too. Invasive plant management plan, IPMS, or I whatever. Yeah, I don't know if we need to get like that technical, but I mean, I just feel like what he provided by the deadline on the actual deliverable deadline was insufficient.
Yeah.
I agree. I guess I just wonder how much, like if we required that, how much you would actually do.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe for me, if he did do all the plantings, he cut the climbing bittersweet, and then he monitored for, I don't know, 2 or 3 growing seasons, I guess I would be happy.
I think if we're really clear about the things that we really want to see, and make those requirements, that might make sure that those happen. Whereas if we say we're requiring you to get a plan, that might just make him sort of kick the can down the road and feel like he has to wait for somebody else to say what needs to be done, and then that might not happen.
I just feel like maybe asking too much would make him do none of it.
That's fair.
And all DEP said was originally they said replacement plantings and marking a boundary.
Yeah.
Marking the boundary so that no future encroachment would occur.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
that's good. Yeah.
Did we include that?
No, I think maybe
No.
we should.
Okay.
Yeah, that is good.
It does say area shall be approved by the commission or agent sketch of placement. That's what's in the notes at any rate. So we did at least agree upon that at our last meeting.
Let's see, for invasive species, we probably want to say, you know, the growing seasons, how long we want them to monitor it. So 2 or 3 sounds good to me as well.
And very clear on how he's supposed to
Oh, yeah.
remove it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
mechanical.
we, yeah,
I hesitate at telling somebody how to take care of it because there's such a range of what people are comfortable with. Obviously whatever he does needs to be legal, you know, he needs to,
Mhm.
you know, comply with any.
well, maybe it's just, they just specify no chemicals, you know, no chemical management. Which I don't think we've literally allowed any, I mean, some bigger places that would hire somebody, I think we've let, but other than that, we've never let any, I don't think any, just landowners. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, usually for chemical applications of invasive species plant management, there should be obviously a licensed applicator in charge, and the commission should be provided notice prior, and they should be given a report after. I'm not opposed to chemical treatment when it comes to invasive species management, because some invasive species that's just how you have to deal with it. But I mean, as our chair said, mechanical treatment will work as long as we can get in there before this plant goes to seed. I don't remember seeing or go to fruit. I don't remember other plants being out there that we were worried about other than Oriental bittersweet. Was there other stuff out there? Was there buckthorn or like multiflora rose or barberry or anything else? Or was this just like mostly bittersweet?
I only
Well,
remember bittersweet, I think.
Kristen, I agree. I mean, I do agree with you. I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but I think we've sort of limited homeowners just because we figured they just didn't know what,
Yeah,
you know.
The-
And he does
they
seem
won't.
very
Yeah.
like heavy-handed, like, hey, I'll just I mean, he went and just like cut down your how many.
I know what you're
Um,
saying. It does need to be legally, if it's in a resource area, it needs to be applied by a licensed applicator licensed in the state of Mass. And I don't know if this guy's got a license to apply chemicals.
all right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a licensed herbicide applicator, that it's not an easy thing to be.
And
That's a lot of bittersweet though.
yeah, and glyphosate's not that great for bittersweet.
That's
It's
a good
just,
point.
Mhm.
and then you're talking about bringing in something like paraquat, and that's extra licensed at this point. And
Yep.
really toxic to the applicator. So I think that under this particular circumstance, what you just said, if it gets to the point where chemical management is required, they have to come to us, spell it all out, and then come back and report back.
Mhm.
But for the time being, I think just saying that this needs to be mechanically managed and quickly.
Mhm.
Oh, but
And
it's
that
not
language-
gonna be it. I'm just saying, like, even if they go in there in the next 2 weeks and mechanically manage that, it's not done. That's
Oh, no.
No.
I'm just talking about this year's seed.
exactly.
Mhm.
So I feel like
Right.
we need a 5-year plan for this, and I'm not confident in.
What
This
about
is a
this,
mess. This is
Kristen?
a mess.
One of the things we're concerned about, like our main concern is to have the replacement of the trees.
Mhm.
So right now it's clear what needs to get done. And I think we should say mechanical removal, like you just said, Elizabeth, rather than mowing, because that would be a mess to try and mow around all those stumps.
Oh my
So
God.
they might be using like weed whackers or something. But with the next growing season, when the mortality is checked, the impairment of the growth of these trees by the invasives should be checked. And that's the point at which, if there's a serious issue, like the invasives are outpacing the trees, which is quite possible. I mean, the way bittersweet grows, then that probably is a point where we would say there's a need for a full-blown plan to make sure that these trees can thrive. So we could require it right now, it's true. Maybe it won't happen. But I think that would be very appropriate on the next growing season if you know, it's finding that basically it's just really a field full of Orient bittersweet, that at that point they should take some kind of further steps. That's a
That
suggestion.
would kind of go along with what Mitch was saying about not dumping too much on him, because we
Mhm.
might just not do anything at all. So maybe if, you know, we get him to plant the trees this year, you know, and mechanically remove stuff, and then see how things are going, and come back to him if we need more.
Mow and grow.
Maybe say mowed or mechanically removed. Just to
Mechanically
give them some,
managed.
yeah, just to give some options.
Sounds good.
I mean, it is in his best interest, because it's just gonna kill all the, you know, anything he plants. So if we
And
want 75% survivorship, you know,
Mhm.
Yeah, 75% survivorship after how many years?
We have to determine that.
yeah,
Um,
I'm not sure that 2 to 3. I mean, it seems like uh, we're not really gonna see much growth, you know, and whether they're gonna really survive. It seems like maybe 5 year, you know.
I agree with you, Erica. I feel like
Mm.
5 years is sufficient.
So full replacement up to 5 years with 75% survivorship by the end?
That's the standard under the Wetlands Protection Act for BVWs. So if you're doing like a BVW mitigation area, that's usually the standard.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's riverfront, not BVW, but
Yeah.
Just where we're not, I mean, we're not asking just for revegetation, we're asking for trees, you know.
Mhm.
And
ugh,
it's, you know,
kills me that this has turned from like a source to a sink, you know, this kills me.
All right, Mitch, are we, do you feel like we've got a good, good handle on what we need to communicate to?
I think so. So we're saying 5?
mhm.
5 growing seasons?
Is 5 growing seasons the same as 5 years? Or are we counting spring and like what's a growing season?
So I would say a growing season is a full growing season, like from March, from bud break to petal, or from bud break to leaf fall. Is a
Okay.
I think
growing.
it's just 5 years, but that's just when you would monitor it, is during the
Okay.
growing season, right?
Yeah, 5 years
Yeah.
probably makes more sense for somebody not than seasons. Okay, anything else on the Oak Hill? I think we've kind of,
Yeah, I think that's it.
so Emily, I know you, but there's another board that you are on.
I haven't had any other meetings. It meets once a month, so I haven't attended since the last update that I gave. Right now, we're just priority setting, and there should be something that I can share with the Conservation Commission after our next meeting.
Great. So one thing I did see, or Mitch, actually, I think you had shared this, the folks doing with the restoration plan down at Wedgewood Gardens.
Miller's Meadow by the
Yep.
river?
Yeah.
Yes,
There was a
they got
grant.
their grant.
Yeah, Great.
You know, it's lots of years of calling it one thing to change.
I know. I was gonna say, is it ever gonna really actually change? Yeah.
But so I did see Mitch had sent something and they got the grant, so.
Oh, yay.
Oh, cool. Oh, nice. Nice.
But other than that, is there any other standing? Let's see. Business, any updates on anything?
Just as one last reminder, I'm out at the next meeting. I'm gonna be on vacation, so I don't know if we'll have a quorum. I don't know if Travis will be here.
Because yeah, I'm actually probably not also gonna be here. Sorry, pick the same week. I mean, I could, but I don't. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have enough internet reception.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna be in Florida anymore.
I think Travis is supposed to be able to attend the next one.
And with just the three of us, is that enough?
Yeah, well, 3 is enough. Yep.
Okay.
So
You, I hate missing meetings.
Okay,
I've
I know.
only
I
missed-
did. Yeah.
This will be my second one total since I started, so I hate missing meetings, but I'm on vacation and I'm not bringing my computer, so. Don't call me.
Don't call me. All right, so, let's see. The next meeting will be August 27th at 6:30. And I think that's all of the things that need to be said, except for a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Great, so let's vote. Emily,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Erica,
Aye.
I am also an aye. We are adjourned.